Last night, a Russian strike drone with an explosive warhead hit the shelter structure of nuclear reactor number 4 building of the Chernobyl nuclear power plant, President of Ukraine Volodymyr Zelensky revealed. The head of state also published a video showing the drone's hit and the explosion followed by fire. The fire has now been extinguished. According to preliminary estimates, the shelter at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant was significantly damaged. Currently, the radiation background has not increased, and Ukrainian experts are constantly monitoring this. Ukraine built this shelter together with other countries of Europe and the world, together with America, with everyone who wants real safety for people. The only country in the world that can attack such facilities, occupy the territory of nuclear power plants, and conduct hostilities without any regard for the consequences is today's Russia. And this is a terrorist threat to the whole world, Zelensky said. The president also stressed that Russia carried out such attacks against Ukrainian infrastructure and cities every night. Russia continues to increase its army. Russia does not change its crazy anti-human state rhetoric. This means that Putin is definitely not preparing for negotiations. He is preparing to continue deceiving the world. That's why we need united pressure from everyone who values life to put pressure on the aggressor. Russia must be held accountable for what it is doing, the president stressed. The International Atomic Energy Agency also confirmed the attack by a drone on the night of 13th to 14th February, which, according to them, took place around 1:50 a.m. At that time, the IAEA team heard an explosion at the shelter, which protects the remains of the destroyed reactor of the 4th power unit of the Chernobyl nuclear power plant, after which a fire broke out. A Russian drone hits the roof of the containment structure that covers tons of nuclear fuel residue, highly radioactive waste, and radioactive dust. Kyiv will provide information about the incident at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant to its American counterparts. During the Munich Security Conference, the U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance warned that the United States could hit Russia with economic and military tools of leverage if Russian leader Vladimir Putin doesn't negotiate a peace deal with Ukraine in good faith. Speaking to the Wall Street Journal on Thursday, Vance said the option of sending U.S. troops to Ukraine was on the table, as well as economic punishment if a peace deal doesn't guarantee Kyiv's long-term independence. There are economic tools of leverage. There are, of course, military tools of leverage, Vance told the newspaper. His comments strike a different tone from other recent statements from the White House, including from U.S. President Donald Trump, who suggested this week that Ukraine may be Russian someday, shortly before announcing that peace negotiations would begin immediately after holding a phone call with Putin. Vance's statement also contrasts with Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, who has said the U.S. would no longer prioritize European and Ukrainian security. This week, he told NATO allies that European and non-European troops, but not Americans, would have to police any agreement between Ukraine and Russia. The United Kingdom is persuading the United States to provide air cover for future peacekeeping forces in Ukraine. Air defense systems could be supplied in exchange for access to rare earth metals and minerals, The Times reports. Sources in the British government indicate that the UK is trying to persuade the United States to send more air defense systems to Ukraine to help support a potential future peace agreement. A senior UK government source stated that it is Ukraine's security guarantee, and added that the US had not ruled out providing air cover. The Times also recalls that last month, reports emerged that the United Kingdom and France were discussing the possibility of deploying troops to support a ceasefire in Ukraine if a peace agreement were reached. Discussions about deploying peacekeepers to Ukraine have been ongoing for several months. Ukraine has addressed this issue with France and the United Kingdom, among others. At the Munich Security Conference, President Volodymyr Zelensky stated that a peacekeeping contingent could consist solely of Ukrainians. However, the key issue is armament. According to Zelensky, the number of foreign personnel could reach up to 110,000. He also noted that the participation of maritime nations, such as the UK or Nordic countries, would be desirable. NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte. NATO has to ramp up the defense industry production because we are not producing enough. We have fantastic defense industries, but we are not producing enough. And this is a collective problem we have. Russia is producing in 3 months in ammunition what the whole of the alliance is producing in the year.
We have to spend more, not only because the US expects that, because they expect Europe to take its and pay its fair share. But also we have to spend more because we know the threat coming from Russia and from other adversaries is increasing. We are not producing enough. And this is a collective problem we have from the US up to and including Turkey and including the whole of the European Union, Norway, UK. We have fantastic defense industries, but we are not producing enough. We are producing in 3 months in ammunition. No, I would say Russia is producing in 3 months in ammunition what the whole of the alliance is producing in a year. And this is simply not sustainable. We have to ramp up the defense industry production.
What concessions will Putin make? Very good questions.
You have focused on what Ukraine is giving up. What concessions will Putin be asked to make?
I would start by saying the arguments that have been made that somehow coming to the table right now is making concessions to Vladimir Putin outright that we otherwise, or that the president of the United States shouldn't otherwise make. I just reject that at its face. There's a reason why negotiations are happening right now, just a few weeks after President Trump was sworn in as President of the United States. Vladimir Putin responds to strength. In 2014, he invaded Crimea, not during the presidency of Donald Trump. Over 4 years, there was no Russian aggression from 2016 to 2020. In 2022, Vladimir Putin took aggression on Ukraine. Once again, not...
Moldova decided to shut down the Rosotrudnichestvo office after Russian drones violated its airspace, the country's Ministry of Foreign Affairs announced. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs has urgently summoned the head of the Russian diplomatic mission in Chisinau following a new and serious violation of Moldova's airspace by Russian drones. During the meeting, the Moldovan side strongly protested these unacceptable violations, underlining that such incidents represent a serious threat to the national security and citizens of the Republic of Moldova. The Russian diplomat was told that such actions constitute a violation of national sovereignty and is another unfriendly gesture by the Russian Federation.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Every day. We had a guy last week, it's 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.